go now, baby. You push the pedal, turn the crank, pound the pavement, run that race, set that goal, give it chase. Don't be afraid and join the ranks of the ones who say I'll see what I got and get what it takes and see how far I can make it. Even if I shoot for the moon and I don't quite get there, well at least I know that I can ride my bike with no handlebars. And so can you. You can do what you do and do it well, do it better, smarter, harder, stronger. And before you know it, you got the eye of the tiger. You need a vision to keep you driven. So what you dream of is what you live on. You need a vision to keep you driven. So what you dream of is what you live on. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go now, baby. If you gonna go, go, go. If you gonna go, go, go. If you wanna go, go, go. You need a vision to keep you driven. So what you dream of is what you live on. You need a vision to keep you driven. So what you dream of is what you live on. Yeah. I see the sun, it's rising up on my horizon. I'm gonna chase it till I get there. There might not be a pot of gold under that rainbow, but we'll find treasure on the way there. We gonna go. Here we go. We gonna go. We gonna go. Right on. Let me ask you why you do what you do. Where you been? Where you wanna go? Do you even know how you gonna get there? Well, come along with me, and together we'll see what I can learn from you, and you can learn from me. The sky's the limit, you'll see. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Go. On your mark. Ready? Well, let me put it to you. What are you gonna do with your lot in life? You gonna vitalize or you gonna prove the strength that's inside of you? Yeah. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Go, go. You need a vision to keep you driven. So what you dream of is what you live on. You need a vision to keep you driven. So what you dream of is what you live on. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. You push the pedal, turn the crank, pound the pavement, run that race, set that goal, give it chase. Don't be afraid and join the ranks of the ones who say I'll see what I got and get what it takes and see how far I can make it. Even if I shoot for the moon and I don't quite get there, well at least I know that I can ride my bike with no handlebars. And so can you. You can do what you do and do it well, do it better, smarter, harder, stronger. And before you know it, you got the eye of We gonna go. Here we go. We gonna go. We gonna go. Right on. Let me ask you why you do what you do. Where you been? Where you wanna go? Do you even know how you gonna get there? Well, come along with me, and together we'll see what I can learn from you, and you can learn from me. The sky's the limit, you'll see.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Australian E-Crit Series East, race number 6 in the series today. We are out on the London course for 7 laps of the classic course. Riders about to get going in about 10 seconds or so. They will take off from the start finish line. I'm going to real quick go through all of the race rules though prior to us getting going with the racers. So we'll let them to get out on course and hammer away a little bit. We'll also talk a little bit about how the series is currently playing out, where the leaders are at, and we do have a couple of feeds, so we'll be able to watch some of the A and the B category racers. We'll definitely have a huge focus though on those who are leading the race for the 7 laps out on the London course. So for the current stand, well, actually, let's talk about the race rules real quick actually first. So this is race number 6. The KISS Australia E-Kit Series takes place every Tuesday from April 18th to September 12th, actually. Australian riders will score points in each race. On September 19th, the top riders will be invited to a live e-racing final to be determined Australian location to determine who will be crowned the 2017 Australian E-Crit champion. So more information on that is going to be coming soon. Points are awarded for first 20 Australian riders from 20 points to 1 in reverse order. Points will count towards KISS Australia East E-Crit Series, and you can find that over on zwiftpower.com. If you go ahead and head on over to zwiftpower.com and go to leagues, when you scroll over leagues at the top of the page, you can make your way down the leagues, and you can see see the East and the West series and click on those and see the current leaders in the series. Power-ups are allowed at all times, like all KISS races. All bikes are allowed at all times, meaning you can use your TT bike if you want to. It can be very difficult to make that happen, though, if you plan on riding with the pack. So the courses that will be used are Volcano, CCW counterclockwise, Richmond Flat, as well as the London Classic. There are no categories. Everybody starts together. Important note, real quick, you guys, is Strava data for KISS races must be open, not private or hidden. Z-Power riders with average watts per kilogram over the duration of the race greater than 3.99 watts per kilogram will not be eligible for CAT or race wins. Riders producing over 5 watts per kilogram average will be DQ'd. They can be reinstated if real-life matching performances can be provided. HR monitors are required for all races. So normal KISS racing rules, essentially. Riders are out on course and just heading their way over toward the classic course right now. And we're going to jump right on in with the lead group of the A category. And then we'll start talking a little bit about how things have been playing out in the series so far. So over to the racers as they head through this little underground here. We do have a lead group that has established itself, it looks like, being led out by Locke Kirby here from the WP Taz team right now. We do have D. Jin, a very familiar rider in there. Herfoss is in there as well. It looks like T. Henderson, and quite a large group of riders, actually, mainly because the initial sprints have been done from the start gates, but I also believe there is definitely another climb to come before the actual classic course, and then after that it's probably going to be Grupo Compactos. There may be a serious attack over that initial climb, though, toward the classic course, up toward Trafalgar Square, actually, but that's really going to be the only climb out on course each lap, actually. They'll take one direction toward it the first time on up toward Trafalgar Square, and then they will do it every time from another road heading on up toward Trafalgar Square, actually. But that's going to be it as far as the climbs go out on the classic course. 7 laps, and that position each time is going to be where they're going to try and whittle this group down. It is a large group on the front now of about, I would say, 30 riders or more, probably. In the current standings, though, that I can see right now, it is currently being led out in the East Series by Aaron Dunn. 96 points with 5 races, done every single race so far. Second place is currently being held by Anthony Vegan Portolino, actually. Aaron Dunn riding for the WP Taz group, don't want to leave that out. Anthony Vegan Portolino is riding for Vision Cycling with 89 points, very closely trailing Aaron Dunn by only 6 points, actually, for the lead in this series. Glenn Elton for Team AHDR, riding for the Aussie Hump Day ride team. Neil Pedlow then for 54 points, quite a ways behind the front runners there. Glenn Elton with 79 points, just a little ways off, about 15, 16, 17 points off the lead then. I would say 17 points off the lead. Nathan can do math. We're okay now. And then Jason Wagner there, 51 points in 5th place. We'll talk more about more of the riders down through the top 20 as things start heating up. We do have something I want to talk about real quickly, though, here. Brody Gooding, if he is in the race today, won the last week's race, it looks like, and with only one race has 20 points and is actually sitting in 12th place currently. So with just a few wins, if you haven't jumped into the eCrit series, you can still do so. If you think that you can grab some podium spots, these points add up very quickly, and there's a lot of racing yet to go. It's going to be all about getting good placing throughout all of the races and grabbing those points to be in that top 20 and start looking for those invites at the end of the year. They are heading on up this initial climb they were just talking about, 5, 6, 7% gradient into the classic course. They have hit the course officially now, and we do have Vegan Porsche on the front here trying to break things apart. Little gaps starting to be opened up, it looks like, with Anthony at about 3.9, 4.0 watts per kilogram coming out of Australia here. Dunn is following very closely the current series leader there, right along with, it looks like, B. Barnett as well, hanging on to that wheel. Not seeing Barnett in any of the top 20 results or even top 25 just yet, I do not believe. Maybe first time racer in the series. We do have live updates over at ZwiftPower.com. If you would like to have them, head on over to ZwiftPower.com. And you can see by clicking on the race, actually, it's highlighted right now as live. It says KISS Australia East eCrit Series, ZwiftPower.com. It'll bring you right to the tab that has all the races in the event. You click on that tab, and you can click live in the upper right-hand corner and get your live feed of the current results where racers sit at. You can also click the live tab, video tab, actually, as well. I believe under the live tab as well, there is a live video tab and a live chat tab that is the embed of our Twitch channel. So you won't actually miss this broadcast, and you can actually also have the live results right there in front of you as well. You can see all kinds of information over at ZwiftPower.com, like the distance they've currently covered, what position that they're currently in, weight, watts per kilogram that they've put out, their heart rates when they went through the past last checkpoint, as well as what kind of power source that they're using, age, and their history of racing. Each one of the racers also have a history of racing that you can click on by clicking on their names over there as well. Very awesome community tool that's been put together. We do see Jay Creel in here, actually. Good to see him out there racing, and actually the winner of the CVR event to get a trip over to London that's coming up here. So maybe watch out for this this man who's out there hunting down some of these points, looking for not only that CVR event, but also the eCrit live event at the end of the Australian winter here. Very cool to see him hammering away as well, looking for a doubleheader on the wins. He's only got 1 point, though, currently. Sitting in 18th place overall currently in the series right now. Going to have to grab a couple more points if he's looking to be in contention for this. We do have our social media integration currently going on, so if you would like to ask any questions and jump into the broadcast with any questions, pictures coming in from your Zwift setups or what you're currently racing with, anything like that, you can @ZCommunityLive, @ZCommunityLive on Twitter, or you can comment over on the Facebook, on Zwift's Facebook, and we will be able to bring your questions and comments in. We would love to answer them about everything that's going on in front of you with this racing out on Zwift right now. And we are seeing Kev Stevens saying, yeah, go for B. Gooding, as I don't know any of these guys. Young lad going for his second win, so we'll be up for it. Morning, Nathan Garrow. Good morning. Good to see you there, Kev Steven. I like your recent posts over on the social medias lately in some of these Zwift groups. I've noticed you've been outside riding a little bit, so good to see those, and always nice to see you in the broadcast, Kev Steven. Who is winning overall? Yeah, so that would be currently A Dunn is hammering it. Hi, on. Nathan will explain how it works during the broadcast. Thanks a lot, Zwift, for getting in the channel and letting everybody know that I'll try my best. If anybody does have any more questions, please let me know, and I'll do my absolute best to let you know what is going on in front of you. If you're new to Zwift, that's probably something else you probably want to know what's happening. These are all real people on real bikes with real heart rates and real power being connected to the world of Zwift right now. Right now, D-Jin is hammering away at the front of this group right now with 487 watts currently. I believe an ex-Olympic rower, if I'm not incorrect there, and hammering out on Zwift to get an amazing workout, as well as try and get his spot at the live event at the end of this eCrit series. So D-Jin, that's what that verified badge is there for. People who have a verified badge are somebody who's well known in the community or in the world of athleticism, usually some sort of a cyclist or elite athlete or some other well-known person in the community. If you do see a pro jersey next to their name, you know they are a World Tour current pro at that level. So that's what those are all about. D-Jin now actually creating a little bit of a break there with that attack and that 7 watts per kilogram or so, 165 beats per minute. Nadsy following very closely with the WP Taz group. The Team AHDR is there as well at the front with Barnett. So Jin Lockerby here as well with WP Taz, and Nadsy, 2 WP Taz boys now in this break, but Hassan closed it down immediately coming out of Australia here, 4.5 watts per kilogram. I think I'm going to be saying coming out of Australia or New Zealand quite a lot tonight. W Wu now, only one not coming out of Australia here. I believe Taiwan here, 5.9 watts per kilogram. Solid ride so far for him, trying to chase down that break as well. So that was actually a little bit of a push here prior to the only uphill section, maybe trying to loosen up the legs a little bit, get people to burn a few matches before they they actually hit that uphill section, maybe get positioned correctly. And if they're still at the front here, it might have worked out for them. We do see Vegan Porsche here sitting in, maybe waiting. 172 beats per minute, though. It looks like it's been an extremely fast start for the riders out here. 166. Fleming here now. No heart rate monitor, unable to qualify actually without a heart rate monitor. Boys and girls, if you're going to show up for the race and you're looking for points for this series, for the eCrit series, you got to show up with a heart rate monitor or you will be relegated in the results. Newell here now, 174 beats per minute. It looks like here everybody really kind of on limit. I don't think anybody's holding back in these series of races. All right, now at the front though, this is the moment that we've been talking about over and over again. Every lap we're going to see this on 7 laps. And on the first of these 7, we can see Vegan Porsche here kicking out at the 7.4 watts per kilogram, currently second overall in the series right now, trying to make something happen early on. Herfoss now following it up, it looks like, with Battiato here coming out of Italy, closing that down as well. Newell making his way to the front, it looks like, of the chase group. Vegan does have about 2 seconds here over the rest of the group. Let's see if he can hold on to that. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Going to be very difficult to hold off a huge chase group like that. We do see it looks like Creel actually from his team going to the front and slowing things down. He actually made his way immediately to the front, went right down to 0 watts per kilogram, trying to hold things up. Nobody actually sat on his wheel though as he went to 0 watts per kilogram. Need to hold at least 3 maybe to hold things down with a lock on to his avatar. So it didn't do such a good job of causing any kind of mayhem at the front to slow things down. See Robert now with a little bit of a gap actually over the rest of the group. They do not have a draft on him. As you can see, C. Roberts has 12 meters over the rest of the group at 5.5 watts per kilogram. Immediately closes that gap to Vegan. Now let's see if they can work together and hold on to this. Creel now 3.7 on the front, slows it down again, 4.5. Will they catch the wheel? It looks like Vegan Porsche still has 6 meters. Is it going to come down to 5? They still have just enough that there is no draft on them now that Polly is within 5 meters. They will have that draft, and it has been closed down on this first lap of 7 today. Solid group here still. Doesn't look like anybody's going much of anywhere just yet. Let's go ahead and see if the live results have been updated just yet over at zwiftpower.com. If we can find out exactly where everybody stands and who is in this front group right now, battling it out for the spot. So we do, it looks like, have in this front group about 26 riders. I'm seeing 26 riders. Out of the 26 riders that are in this lead group, 2 of them are not from New Zealand or Australia, so definitely going to have a lot in contention for the points for the eCrit series. I am seeing a win for Creel here recently. I would believe that's the CVR event, actually. So Creel has won a race in the last couple of weeks here. A. Dunn, obviously the series leader right now. I'm seeing a gold, a 4th, and a bronze. Let's go ahead and see what's happening with him. 71 races for Aaron Dunn out on Zwift, actually. Let's go ahead and take a look at his avatar right now as we talk about his past results. The current series leader right now sitting at 134 beats per minute. Looking fairly comfortable right now, riding for that WP Taz team. Let's see if we can get a solid shot of the avatar. Is he actually in the Gambit kit? It seems like that's what he is riding in right now, I believe. Let's go ahead and just make sure as we look at, we can push 3 and 0 just so you know. And yep, in the Gambit kit there, it looks like actually right now. So that is going to be Aaron Dunn, your current series leader. 71 races out on Zwift, 360 watt FTP according to zwiftpower.com. Coming out of Australia, he did take a win in the WBR 1 lap flat on the 20th. Looked like it was just a warm-up race for today on, I believe it would be Saturday then that would have been. And then also a WBR 3 laps hilly race. I believe that would be out on Watopia, second place there. He did 3rd place in the Australia eCrit Series last week, 1 week ago. And then it looks like a 2nd place in the one before that and a 3rd place in the one before that. So he has not won one outright, I do not believe. Oh, no, he did win the first one actually on the 18th. So consistency is going to be key. As you can see, the current leader in the series has been very consistent. He isn't winning every single race outright, but a 2nd, a 3rd, a 3rd, and a 1st is getting him the points needed at 96 currently in the lead of this series. Looks like Nathan our live results update about 1 minute after they cross the finish line each lap. Thanks a lot, Johnny Noblet, production manager over at Zwift Community Live. Great commentary. Thanks a lot, Shane Arnold. Good to see you. Pete Donahue from Zwift Fitness in the broadcast. Good to see you. Says, howdy, Nathan. How many watts? Joseph Cooper is saying, how many watts? There's a lot of them out on course right now. Joseph Cooper, just so you know, there is a whole lot of them. I'm going to check out the comments over at the broadcast over at Twitch as well. We are live at lots of places right now. If you are wondering all the places that we are live or how to find the replay of the broadcast, we are live on obviously Zwift's Facebook. We are also live on the main place that you can get notifications of any time that we go live, push notifications directly to your email as well as your mobile device over on twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live. And you can watch HD 1080p over there at our Twitch channel. We're also live on Beam and YouTube as well. And you can always find the replays on our YouTube channel. Zwift Community Live is that location as well. Let's see what's happening, if there's any action over at the Twitch. No, it looks like it's pretty quiet over there. Just so you guys know, I am watching that chat as well. So if you are looking to chat, let me know. Or if you have any questions over there, I am definitely keeping an eye on that. If you would like to be involved in the broadcast, remember at Z Community Live on Twitter, we'll always be able to bring in your questions and comments directly into the broadcast as well. Why I'm indoors hurts way too much, Joseph Cooper is saying. And is Troy Herfoss racing? Nicholas Johns is asking. The easiest way to see that, if you do not see him, I do see him actually right here in the right here is Troy Herfoss. We'll give him a ride on, actually. Currently sitting at 143 beats per minute, 215 watts. And I believe he is currently sitting in, let's go ahead and see what kind of placing that he is sitting in for the series lead right now. I know he's been having some good races. It looks like 35 points totally with just 2 races so far, and currently in 7th place overall in the series. I do believe he won one of the races recently. I know Jesper, who I'm sitting in for right now because he's off in the land down under on a tour with Zwift over there for a bunch of live events, but I know that he was definitely doing a highlight on Mr. Herfoss here, and he did win the race on the 9th, it looks like, in race number 4 actually. So definitely somebody to watch out for to see if he's going to be able to take the win today, as Herfoss is making this next time up and over the top of the climb into Trafalgar Square. We do see Nadsy at the front here. Actually, it looks like this one's a lot more contentious, a lot more watts being thrown down here. 8.5 watts per kilogram. Going into the orange numbers this time, as you see D-Jin at the front here with Newell trying to follow very closely. Vegan Porsche right on that wheel with Roberts. Nadsy 3 seconds off the back now. It looks like we may actually have a group making a real break now. If these 3 or 4 riders do go off the front now, it is going to be extremely difficult for the rest of the group to chase them down. See Roberts here, 6.6 watts per kilogram on the front. As we look over his shoulder, you can see the group behind there trying to kick it into gear at 5 seconds back though, and this is a lot of strong men who are really starting to be the cream that's rising to the top here of this crop here. So let's see here, C. Roberts, T. Newell. So it is going to be Roberts, so 6.4 watts per kilogram, and we'll be 4 off the front with Roberts, Porsche, Jin, and Newell. Just 1 second though with a gap there to Newell. Newell's got to kick it up into 6 watts per kilogram real quickly. Now let's see if they can work together. They're going to have to throw down a solid 5.5 to 6 watts per kilogram on the front of this group though, if they want to hold off that hard chasing group behind here. It does look like Nadsy and the rest there are throwing down a solid 5 or so, but these boys, I think, sitting in at 5.5 or less, even into 4 there for moments, are going to be able to really ramp it up. It's still 183 beats per minute though. Let's see if they can keep that speed. It is 30 miles per hour here. We are seeing, let's go ahead and see what the speeds are behind here. Dunn now, the current series leader, has an aero power up, and he's going to not bring the group with him. That's one of the smartest moves you can possibly make out on course, is to use an aero power up, go into those orange numbers when a group does go, and immediately get a gap on on the rest of the chasers. So you don't just pull that group with you. You actually create a better break and make it a moment of truth for the rest of the riders that just have to go with you and burn matches to go with you rather than just sit on your wheel. We do see Creel able to close it down as well, 7.5 watts per kilogram. And Division get two boys in this break. They're going to be able to work together with maybe some WP Taz here as well. Actually, only one WP Taz, it looks like. So a lot of unattached riders, one WP Taz and two Vision boys, it looks like, in this break. It does look like Lockerby here trying to slow things down at the front, but Troy Hortfaus isn't going to have any of it. 3 seconds is the gap now. It is a race of meters, though. If they don't close it down right now, it might all be over. And let's go ahead and see what's happening at the back of this group. Lockerby actually not a part of the race officially as far as being able to get any kind of results, as he does not have a heart rate monitor on as far as being in contention for a win. He can still put an effort in, though, to try and work with his teammates. It does look like 165 here coming from Nadsy. Simpson here, 174. Watson, let's go ahead and look through a few more here, see if we've got enough heart rate monitors to see what's happening. 163 here coming from Dunn. Looks like it isn't going to go much of anywhere as it gets closed down by the group out on course. And definitely always very difficult to get away from such a large group with so much firepower in it. People sitting in, resting up at 3 watts per kilogram. As you can see, Troy Hortfaus there, 3.3 watts per kilogram or so, allowing himself to really rest up and wait for those moves and then able to attack. And there's going to be a lot of boys like that in this group, just able to sit in and wait for those moments and then throw down a couple of matches to close things down. And you get enough of those, ramping that speed up, getting the draft from the other riders. It's going to be very difficult even for 5 or 6 who did get off the front to get away, as it is a flatter course. So definitely extremely tactical out here today out on Zwift. So it looks like Nicholas Johns is saying that Troy Hortfaus has won 2 races. Thank you for the correction out there on the Facebook. Really appreciate the comments for sure. And it looks like we are going to have a couple falling off, though. Henderson was a part of the group and now has fallen off pace, it looks like, because of those attacks. Keane now just sitting on, staying keen to the wheel there. Badiato as well out of Italy, 172 beats per minute. Done there, 143. And you can see the difference between those who are sitting in, looking for the win, and those who are just hitting before they do hit that uphill section of the course, with Fleming going off the front here at about 6.4 watts per kilogram. Watson not going to really follow it up there, it looks like, coming out of Australia with 4.4 watts per kilogram. Now there goes Roberts, though, not wanting any kind of break to go anywhere. 7.7 watts per kilogram coming from C. Roberts here. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on there as he closes that gap down. Doesn't want to be off the back from any of those. Maybe going to sit in here and wait for a launch right on. Actually goes right on by at 6 watts per kilogram. Not waiting up for anything, as the rest of the group is a full 4 seconds back as we look over his shoulder there. Fleming almost back on terms. Can he close that gap down? Will this be a group of 2 going away? There may be a few sitting in waiting now and allowing this gap to go out and then waiting to throw into that 8 to 10 watts per kilogram to close it down to these boys, which most likely will only be able to do 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 consistently over the top of the climb here after launching this initial attack. Roberts here with a heart rate monitor on is going to be in contention here, 179 beats per minute, though. So I'm assuming 5 to 6 watts per kilogram over this climb into the square. It will most likely be then a few riders here with 8 to 10 watts per kilogram to give that have been resting up, do a sprint, and maybe be able to form a lead group then as they make their way on to their 3rd lap out on course for the eCrit series today. So it looks like, as far as the riders here in the lead group, let's see if there's anybody else who is in contention then, and has won a few maybe of these races or is in the top 20 or so. Glenn Elton, is he here today? Because he's currently sitting in 3rd place. It's definitely going to be in his favor to show up. He's done 5 of the races, so I'd be surprised if he didn't show up for number 6 here. B. Hill now kicking, as we were saying, 10 watts per kilogram, 10 watts, 8 watts per kilogram, 9 watts per kilogram coming from Dunn, Herfalls, Newell as well, Lockerby, Wu now going into the 8 watts per kilogram. One of the Zwift employees there hammering away now with that drafting power up, trying to hold on to the wheel. Jin now trying to go right along with him as well. Herfalls now at the front right along with Blackburn. Watson, now we're really starting to see who's going to be involved in this break, as they did close it down pretty quickly there to the 2 that were off the front. Roberts was able to hang on right along with Newell. Wu closed it down. Jin is there as well. Fleming, Nadsy off the back by about 3 seconds, and it looks like Battiato, Team HDR with Barnett, as well as Jay O'Brien, Creel as well, unable to make that lead group actually. As we look down here, one Vision Rider in here. Is Porsche then in the lead group is going to be the question. They've definitely been trying to play some tactics here. WP Taz as well has a couple in this lead group. They're going to be able to work together. As we do see Dunn here, 4.8 watts per kilogram, hammering away right on the wheel of Fleming, as well as sitting at 5.1. Jin now making his way to the front there at 5.1 watts per kilogram, 13.2 miles in total so far. As we look over his shoulder, we do see a chase group coming on hard at about 5 seconds back right now. Can they hold on to this as Jin kicks it into 5.6 watts per kilogram? Herfoss is in this group now. It is a much larger group this time, and if they do work together, this might be the break that they've been looking for right now. Somebody I have not mentioned so far very much isn't Innovation Cycles Boy. This is a newer group out on course here. B. Gooding, definitely one to watch out for from Innovation, and this new team has adopted the Alienware kit actually out on course with the green Trek actually. So whenever you do see this bike and kit out on course and they have innovation in the name, it is that Innovation Cycles group that has suddenly shown up during the Australian winter in force actually. I think actually run by Kyle Augustine, who is living in Great Britain but is a New Zealander, coming from New Zealand actually originally, and is doing a great job of running a bunch of group rides as well as getting involved with the races with his team out on course. So definitely a force to be reckoned with whenever they do show up. Looks like he's kind of solo though tonight in this race, going to have to hold down the fort on his own for Innovation, it looks like, as they head into this last 4 laps out on course. Blackburn now it looks like 3.1 sitting on Team HDR. Jin now 3.6 watts per kilogram. It doesn't look like that break is going much of anywhere as these boys are about to be lapped out on course. Team HDR there, the Aussie Hump Day ride with Barnett now on the front, now backing off to 175 beats, backing off to 2.9, still at a pretty high threshold there, 174 most likely or so. So solid ride so far by these boys. And it looks like, now it looks like Anthony Porsche, currently second place overall in the series. Says absolutely bull dust, 2 times dropout, not happy, so angry. Sorry to hear that, Anthony. Something going on with the setup out home, with the dropouts. Hopefully you can get that solved up, man, and at least maybe finish up or get back into some sort of a group to work together. I have a feeling maybe just going to have to call this one for the day because you don't get participation points if you don't hit the top 20. GG. But there are lots of races, Anthony. Lots of races. Look to grab some more points coming into the rest of the series for sure. Sorry to hear that. Bad luck, Anthony Porsche. Rest up, mate. Next week, number 1 for you, Pete Donahue says. And I bet Anthony does appreciate the encouragement there coming from Mr. Zwift Fitness himself, Pete Donahue. So it does look like Creel's going to take up the banner then for Vision at the front there with 3.0 watts per kilogram. Oh, Simpson there sitting in 168 beats per minute. Going to be able to watch out for this one maybe. Simpson looking strong, able to cover these moves. Let's go ahead and see if he's sitting anywhere in the top 25 or so. I'm not seeing the name there in the top 25. Does he have any past results as of recently in the races? Simpson, it does look like 4.7 watts per kilogram so far. Sitting at 58 kilograms, actually. Super light rider, it looks like. 14 races total. FTP of 264, maybe just hanging on. He did take first in the Aussie Hump Day ride, although it is not a race necessarily, but it is definitely a fast ride, and they do some sprinting at the end. Performance ride, 4th place in that. HDR special. So it does a lot of Aussie Hump Day rides, but not a lot of racing. Maybe just jumping into the racing for the first time out here today is going to be O. Simpson there at 164 beats per minute. So let's watch out for him. He might get his absolute best, actually, out on course here with an average of, looks to be 4.7 watts per kilogram so far for the duration on a smart trainer with the under 23 there in the name. So solid ride for O. Simpson so far. Maybe a dark horse to watch out for today out on course. So still a large group here it looks like, but it has been whittled down little by little, and we are currently 22.5k in on lap number 4 of a 43.1 kilometer race today. I know I do have miles up ahead above. I need to switch that whenever I do log in. We are on my silly Imperial American account, and so I am using miles, but I will be able to count out the kilometers for you as they head through, as Jin has completed 24.3 total out on course right now, and so that is they're about halfway through the 7 laps. We are on the back end of the race now with about 3.5 laps to go. It does look like then the main group has been whittled down quite a bit. As I'm looking through here, I am seeing it is going to be about 21 riders, I believe, that have made the lead group. Is Barnett still in here? I'm looking through and wondering if he has made. He is still in here, so maybe just a little more than 21 riders or so. There was a little bit of a gap for a second there, but it looks like Dunn has been closed down on. Jin now immediately, as soon as they come around the corner here, ramping up to 5.3 watts per kilogram, not waiting as they head back into the climb into the square here, 6.6 watts per kilogram as they make their way up, and it looks like he's got quite the gap actually going on. Is that actually a 15-second gap? Is that can't be right? Wow. Out of nowhere here, Jin with this crazy attack. It's saying it's 14, then 0. It's saying it's 14, then 0. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to hold on to this here. And he is absolutely gone at this point. As I look over his shoulder here, they're out of sight. And they're going to have to do something about this immediately if they're going to close this down to Jin, as he is just gone at this point. 4.4 watts per kilogram now, and it looks like Simpson, it says 1 second back, but I'm not sure that that's correct here. As I look over his shoulder here, I'm not seeing anybody anywhere near within sight right now. As they come into that corner, it will correct, I believe, and it is. There it is, 14 seconds actually, as Newell here is at the front here just watching as the race rides away from him. Jin's going to have quite the day on his hands here to hold off this hard chasing group of bloodthirsty guys that are going to really want to close this down for all the points that they can grab. It's going to be 20 points up for grabs for the win today, but nobody really wanting to risk anything as Jin goes off the front now and is going to have this solo attack at about 16 seconds, just absolutely gone from that corner. Shane, did they correct it? Is you back in the game? No, it is not back in the game, Shane. They took it out because there was a bug involved with it, Shane. It was a few updates ago. So you can no longer switch between the metrics in the game, at least from what I've seen. I'm going to go ahead and push you over here as well. Nope, over on my other feed as well. And so it doesn't have to do with my Synergy being on 2 different computers. But thanks a lot, Shane. It used to be you, but no longer can you push you to get the swap over. Get into them. WP Taz, Trent Hadley obviously cheering on the WP Taz team out there out on course. Anthony Porter saying, thanks, Pete. Had really good legs tonight. Was looking forward to the sprint or breakaway. First dropout I got back on. I'm sorry to hear that, Anthony, and I hope that you have a better race next week. Good to see Shane Miller, though, hanging out in the broadcast, and really excited, I think, to see him in London real soon. So good to see you, Shane. The llama himself. Hanging out here and not racing though. What's going on here, Miller? Oh, he's saving it up, I think, for something special here, maybe in another time zone in a couple of weeks here. We'll have to see if he's going to make it over there. I believe he's heading over. Maybe I shouldn't, maybe I'm announcing too much too soon, though. Dangerous on the mic here. But now we are seeing, it looks like Jin now hammering away now at the front of the group now, actually not in front of the group, still off the front here, 21 seconds or so as we look over his shoulder, and it looks like it's going to be out of sight, maybe out of mind at this point, as he's got a full on 21 seconds with just, I believe, 2 laps to go out on course. Is that right? Bring it on, Shane Miller is saying, bring it on. So super excited, and it looks like, I believe, maybe 3 laps to go here. Let me just double check where they are at. 24.3 total, and I wish that they did both kilometers and miles. You know, it's a little bit, well, I guess it's Australian e-crit, so maybe we need to just stick to the kilometers. But I think all of Zwift Power actually is all in kilometers, so maybe a little bit of bias there coming from ZwiftPower.com. But 5.1 watts per kilogram for Jin here off the front, 17.9 in 28 kilometers total. It looks like they have completed so far, so they are going to have, I believe, 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go out on course. So solid ride. And with 2 laps to go, can he hold off the rest of these boys to the finish line? It's only 15 seconds now. They have closed down 5 seconds in just this last little bit. And as you can see, there is a little bit of urgency, I think, in this group as they are definitely starting to get strung out. When they start getting to that straight line, you know that the riders are just sitting on the wheels that are right in front of them, just looking to grab that draft, and nobody is soft pedaling at the front, so nobody can easily come around. So it's just a holding on to those wheels as they straighten out on course into that line of suffering. And it looks like Jin here now 17 seconds able to hold on, 169 beats per minute, 5.1 watts per kilogram. Done now, 3.6 at the front, not really chasing anything down just yet. They're gonna have to put out a lot more than that if they're ever gonna see Jin again today. Now I'm gonna go ahead and see what kind of results that he's had so far. Drew Jin here, only 1 point actually out on the series so far with it looks like, 16 points, with 1 race, so totally incorrect there. Looks like 16 points right now with 1 race. I was confusing the races and the points. So a solid result actually for Jurgen in the 1 race he's done. He's done 27 races out on Zwift, FTP of 420 watts coming out of Australia with a Zada approval badge. Just so you guys know, he is Zada approved, so that means he's put out the watts per kilogram to prove it in a strain gauge power meter test actually that was sent into Zada. So he did get, it looks like, a 5th place back on the 2nd of May for those points actually, and now jumping back in here looking to jump up a little higher in those results with a better result today. If he takes this win today, that'll put him up into, I believe, the top 10 actually. Let's go ahead and double check that real quick. With currently 16 points, that'll jump him all the way up into 36 points, definitely into the top 10 actually, as long as he doesn't get overtaken by the rest of these boys. It all depends on where the rest of these boys, you know, finish up. Troy Herfoss, who is in the chase group, definitely sitting in 7th place with a solid 35 points. We do also have Aaron Dunn in there with 96, currently series leader. You know, he will be able to overtake maybe a few of these others. Tim Storer here and Mick Polmier, as well as Will Hodges, Alex Holmes, all sitting in that 35 to 20 or so. Brody Gooding, who's in the chase group as well, sitting at about 20 points with 1 win out on course last week. So definitely going to want to chase this down because he could overtake quite a few of the riders if he stays away here with this 15 seconds. Now kicking it into this uphill grind here, 6.2 watts per kilogram covering him, and it looks like Nadsy here just sitting at 3.8 with not a whole lot of interest to chase. Troy Horfrost now, what's he going to do here? 7.8 watts per kilogram, knowing that Jin is off the front. Is he going to pull the rest of the group right along with him, though, at only 5.7 watts per kilogram, 157 beats per minute? Where is the attack? There it is, 8 watts per kilogram now into that sprint effort with just a lap and a half to go out on course. There goes Roberts, though, 12 watts per kilogram, absolutely killing it, 173 beats per minute, and immediately opens up the gap. This might be the close down to the leader out on course right now, as he actually immediately closes down a solid 10 seconds, and there's only a 10-second gap now between Jin and it looks like Herfoss and the rest now. There is a little bit of discrepancy as they come around that corner actually, though, as they change up the instances there. And it looks like Roberts did get 7 seconds over the group now, almost closed down the entire gap actually to Jin. Jin may be waiting up and wanting another rider to work with here, as you see in 169 beats per minute here. Roberts up in that 182, 183. He's just going to grab that wheel, and then maybe Jin will bump it up a little bit back into that 5 watts per kilogram in order to hold on to this gap. We'll see if these boys do work together to hold them off for the rest of this race. And I think they're going to be coming into 1 lap to go in just a moment here. 3 seconds is the gap then between these two riders. They don't want to hold up just too much. 13 seconds between them and the chase group. They may be able to do this with C. Roberts here coming into the wheel of D. Jin. It is just 1 second. He's going to close it right on down. 30 miles per hour. He's closing in there. 27, so he will come right on by most likely. Jin's going to grab that wheel, I would think, and they're going to start working together with that 10-second gap. Herfoss now with a little bit of motivation, seeing that this group is getting away. 5.6 watts per kilogram at the front, 160 beats per minute. Looks like he's got a lot left in the tank, and maybe a couple power-ups going to affect this race. It is only 10 seconds, not a whole lot, with a lot of landscape yet to work with for the riders out on course. So we are seeing a whole lot of chat coming in through here. We are seeing Johnny now, it looks like, saying, on that note, on your behalf, Shane Mirror, anyone watching wants to know anything about Zwift, how to get set up, budgets, etc. I'm assuming that's going to be a shout out to Mr. Shane Miller's and his YouTube. Definitely something that you're going to want to check out, and I believe that's probably what we're bringing in here, and that is not at all what I was looking for there. That is an old tweet, as I did not update the integrations. I'll update it right now, as I got to select the correct title. But thanks for the shout out to Mr. Shane Miller, Mr. Jonathan Nobbit. Let's try that again. And as you can see here on that note, this is a little shout out to John, from Johnny here, our production manager at Zwift Community Live, shouting out to Shane. If you want to check out anything as far as it goes for how to get set up, budgets, all that kind of stuff, make sure to check out the Llama's YouTube. Definitely one of the greatest resources on all things Zwift over on YouTube. I believe that would be gplama as well .com. Correct me if I'm wrong though there, Shane. And Veronica Mitch, it's good to see you as well in the broadcast, saying that DJ is a monster. And we're saying Olympic champion, he goes all right. Drew J, an Olympic champion, gold medal winner in the rowing. Thank you so much for that. Looks like Aaron Dunn is typing 222, essentially saying, is that just rage typing about what's happening in front of Dunn out on course right now? I love it that Dunn is watching the broadcast and just trying to communicate something to the rest of the riders. There's 2 off the front. Let's do something about it at this point. And Herfoss now at the front here, 5.9 watts per kilogram, trying to close this down as they head into, I believe, the bell lap out on course. They are out on the last lap out on course, and this is where all of the chips are going to get thrown down on the table. I am seeing a little bit of chat going on over at the Twitch channel. Good to see the llama over there. I am seeing Kevin Stevens saying, wow, just never seen this before unless the group are letting him dangle for a while. And it looks like that's what's happening, actually. I think they're fairly comfortable at this point to know that they will close it down. Jin has thrown down a huge amount of wattage, wanting to get away, didn't want to sprint finish, it looks like, having a solid threshold effort, but it got closed down. It looks like him and Roberts will be caught just 5 seconds off the front. Look at them. They're just letting them dangle at this point. 3.9 watts per kilogram done on the front here. Huge group at this point. Everybody's saved up a whole lot of power-ups. I don't think that they're going to be able to stay away unless they've got a lot of wattage bazookas left in the tank at this point. With only 6 seconds, this group is going to close that down so quickly as they come into the final K. The landscape is running out for these boys to have enough time between themselves and that chase group, and it's going to be these 2 off the front just trying to hold off the peloton as they chase them down. The classic to the finish line in the final K situation where the break might be caught. Can they hold them off at 8 seconds as they work together out here? DJ sitting on 5.0 watts per kilogram. Roberts heading to the front, now backing off a little bit, now heading back to the front, 6.0, 171 beats per minute. Jin now backing off a little bit, 5.3. They're trying to work together. They're trying to send it out a little bit by little bit, saving enough though maybe for the climb into the final K or 2 as they head into the square, but it's going to be C. Roberts now backing off himself maybe saying it's curtains at this point. We're seeing him actually just letting Jin go to the front now and pull along 29 miles per hour that they're holding currently done here at 28, though. They are going just a little bit faster maybe through these sections out of course. Actually, no, backing off if they come into that 1.8% gradient. On a 1.8% gradient, we do see Dunn here at the same speed. They're holding it at that 10 seconds, and with a whole lot of aero power, it's most likely going to be coming from these riders, reducing that CDA, and the sprints coming up, and the riders sitting on the wheels as they come into that finish line, and all kinds of lead-out trains going down. I think it's just a matter of time before they are caught. I actually did just get an update from Shane Miller. He was saying he was uploading, saying Zwift NZ AU Tour 2017, first stop in Auckland. So want to check out the stop in Auckland there. With an update on what is going on with the Zwift Tour in New Zealand, Australia. Shane Miller just uploaded it to his YouTube, actually, as I do get live notifications for that, actually. And you can get them, too. Go hit that sub button, actually, over on his YouTube for all things Zwift on YouTube. So here we do have Lockerberry now, 4.1 watts per kilogram with Nadsy as well. It looks like at 4.8, closing it down to Roberts and Jin, the poor guys here. You're always rooting for the boys off the front, but I'm not sure going to make it happen. And Jin, man, he's got some solid points right now, but there's definitely, I think, more than 20 in this group, so it's going to be 20 points to 1 point, and anybody who doesn't finish in that top 20 amongst this sprint group is going to get nothing. So there's a lot on the line right here as far as your positioning, what you're saving up, and this sprint is really going to matter for the series, and it might come down to just a few points at the end of the eCrit series, so you're going to want every ounce of effort that you have to the line here for the sprint. We see Jin and Roberts here trying to hold these boys off, but we see all kinds of orange numbers and sprints coming on now as they're trying to hold on to those wheels as they get away little by little with, and this is going to be the final moments, and they call this, a lot of times they call this the, we'll just call it the bucket hill, okay? As this final few K right here, it doesn't let up. Everybody's looking for positioning. Everybody goes from this climb onward into that final K. It is everything you got to close down every single gap, and nobody ends up really holding hands or looking at each other. It is at the limit to the line, usually just looking for a wheel to hang on as people continue to throw attack after attack after attack. Those who do not want to sprint finish, they try and get away in this final K. Then it has to get closed down. You got to find another wheel and hold on to that wheel and just sit at, just pin it at threshold, usually all the way to the line, and then find some sort of sprint for the finish. It does look like it is going to close down, though, to those two that were off the front. It looks like the pack has closed it down in that perfect timing to that last K. We do see it looks like it's going to be Hassan with Poli here as well. Seeing it with Simpson, the one we were talking about, the junior rider actually, or the U23 rider there as well. Jin now is in there as well. Newell, Fleming, it looks like Roberts, Hill, Battiato, all sitting within the top 10, looking for a good positioning before they make their way to the line. Dunn, the current series leader, is in there as well. See Roberts, where is he sitting in the current? I'm not exactly sure. I'm just going to make sure. Has he done any of these races just yet? Maybe just looking for a solid result. He was off the front with Jin, but it looks like these boys maybe not have quite as much in the tank after they have been caught. And the series leader here now leading things out, looking for a good position for this final sprint. Where are those power-ups? Who's going to go first? Who's going to bite first before the finish line at this point? We are seeing now Hill wrapping up the 4.6, 4.7 watts per kilogram. It doesn't look like anybody's got any orange numbers just yet, and they're heading into the final 500 meters to the line. Hassan, it looks like it's going to be Battiato as well, 3.3 watts per kilogram. Am I incorrect that this is not the final lap? Because nobody's going just yet. 300 meters to go, and I was completely incorrect, most likely. Or is they just going to watch each other? And I think they have one lap to go. One lap to go? One lap to go, and Aaron Dunn's correcting me. Thanks a lot, guys. Now his first rodeo. I just moved to office and raced with you guys. Bike saying 2 laps. Aaron Dunn, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. So I was ramping it up. They got caught, and I was incorrect. That's my fault for having the silly American metrics in there. I'm looking over at ZwiftPower.com. ZwiftPower.com said that it was. I'll blame it. I'll just push it off on ZP.com. So I'm seeing here in the live results though, and it's completely my fault. I'm seeing 6 laps completed. All right, 6 laps completed now. or they're maybe on lap number 6. Maybe that's what it means, 35.4 kilometers as they're ramping it up into the last lap. My mistake, boys and girls, my mistake. At least I'm not racing thinking that it was the final lap. You have gone off early, just like Isaac Quaid does. Thanks a lot, Dane Murray. I appreciate the comment. So going off a little bit early, but that's okay. We made it kind of exciting there for a moment, and we'll at least now be able to watch things ramp up, see if anybody does go off the front here in this last couple of K here as they make their way to the line. I'm glad that nobody made the mistake, though, in the race as they were listening to the broadcast. Dunn corrected me during the race here, knowing that there was one lap to go. So obviously he's got a whole lot left in the tank here, it looks like, as the current series leader, 148 beats per minute, closed it all down and nobody going anywhere just yet. And now there's half a lap to go. Who's going to make the next move out on course? Coming up on Z Community Live, we do have a tweet actually that just came through. So if you guys would like to check out our Racer Focus, we do have a lot of things going on Zwift Community Live. We have obviously all of our race broadcasts, but we also have Racer Focuses where you can see the perspective of a racer out on Zwift. Actually, from their perspective, they sit where I'm at on their bike and actually give you a walkthrough of what their race is like. You get to watch the suffering live from their perspective, their first person perspective out on course. And coming up next, we do have, it is going to be Ian Anderson's Racer Focused, actually 5:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. So definitely join him for 2 laps on the London Loop next on Zwift Community Live. You can check that out on our Facebook, our Twitch channel, our YouTube, any of those places. So we also do have group rides that we do focus on, as well as we do have some workouts, actually coach workouts that are coming down the pipeline as well. You want to check all that stuff out? If you haven't done so already, check out Zwift Community Live. Give it a follow on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, and we are also live on Beam. So Woo now here, 3.4 watts per kilogram on the front, it looks like, with Hassan. Everybody kind of ramping up just a little bit, looking for some good positioning. Don't want to be out of position as they make that last turn into the climb. If you do find yourself at the back, it can be very difficult to close down the meters that you allow to get away from yourself at the front. So Wu here with the positioning, maybe for the win here. 6.6 watts per kilogram now. It does look like Herfos now well positioned as well to take another win, perhaps. Hassan here now as well, 4.2 watts per kilogram. You should commentate, Dane Murray. You could talk underwater. And that'd be great to have a co-commentator. Eugene Chan saying morning and evening to all the Aussies. Good to see you, Eugene Chan, hanging out in the broadcast. Tobin Hater saying morning and evening to all of you Aussies. Good to see you, Toby, over at the Twitch feed, as always, and welcome to the broadcast of the KRT East Series. So as they take the turn here, it looks like things are going to stay fairly calm up front as they make their initial approach to the climb, but I think it's going to be any moment now that somebody who does not want that sprint effort at the finish, or just a jump on the pack to make sure that they hang on to the group. It looks like it's going to be B. Gooding, who did win last week's race, kicking in at 9.8 watts per kilogram. Fleming with a feather power-up does not have the arrow power-up, so getting the most advantage that he can out of the power-up that he does have, throws it into 9 watts per kilogram, gets a little bit of a gap on the rest of the racers. Let's see if he does have any continuance up over the top here. He cannot win the race outright without a heart rate monitor, though, so he is not actually a worry for the rest of the racers. Blackburn, though, is going to be a worry at 4.0 watts, 4.5 watts per kilogram, but he is off the back here from Barnett as well as B. Hill. Roberts able to make the group now, it looks like. Still, it does look like there is going to be a gap, though, to Blackburn, 4 seconds. Another one's going to bite the dust off the back of this group. Creel now toward the front, looks like, with Hassan D-Jin in there as well. Dunn, current series leader, making himself known as well. Nadsy is in there as well. We haven't talked much about Nadsy. Maybe one to watch out for, as I believe Nadsy, let's go ahead and see how many of these he has done so far in this last few K. Looking through, I'm not seeing him. Oh yeah, Nadsy actually sitting in, looks like 16th place overall with 19 points in just 2 races. So he could definitely have a solid result here and move up significantly in the current results. Again, done with a solid lead right now in the series with 96 points total. Second place dropped out today with 89 points. Anthony Vegan Portion had a couple dropouts. Couldn't get the team car back to him to get that flat fix, so it looks like he's out of the race today. Glenn Alton Pedlow is in there as well. Going to have to watch out for him. Currently sitting in 4th place as they make their way into the final K. Hassan here now, 4.9 watts per kilogram. Looks like Lockerby now, going off the front here, but not a worry for anybody without a heart rate monitor. So we're going to go ahead and watch Fleming now as well. No HR, so it's going to be Newell, the one to be watching out for today. Not seeing Newell though in the, actually no, he's sitting in, it looks like 15 plates with 20 points totally with 2 races total. Going from way out though, we do see it looks like Jin now with the drafting power up, throwing that down super early. Here come a whole bunch more riders. Look at all the power ups being thrown down. We do see Herfoss now 14 watts per kilogram going off the front now, 12 watts per kilogram. Is he going to be able to hold on to it? It looks like Herfoss off the front, but it's going to be Innovation Science with B. Gooding who won it last week. Herfoss, Gooding side by side to the line. Who's going to take it? 10 watts per kilogram. It's going to be Herfoss. No, Gooding now out of nowhere. Here comes Roberts with 12 watts per kilogram at the line. It looks like it's going to be, I believe, Gooding just nipping it. We're going to have to wait for ZwiftPower.com for the official results, but I believe Gooding was able to hold it off with 13 watts per kilogram. All the power-ups got thrown down at that last moment. Huge speed to the line. 9.2 watts, 9.212 seconds to that line. What a crazy finish. I believe it was Gooding to the line there. I'm not absolutely positive. Out of nowhere, there was that just crazy last second effort there from Roberts with the fastest sprint on the day, but I'm not sure that he was actually able. He got the sprint jersey, but I'm not sure if it was timed perfectly to nip them right at the line. So we'll have to wait. It's going to be about a minute or so before we're able to grab the actual results there. And if we have a clip there, if somebody could clip it over at Twitch, we could show you a quick little replay over at Twitch if there is a clip that somebody was able to grab in the last 30 seconds. That's one of the great things actually about the Twitch platform. You can clip like the last minute and a half or so, and I am going to see if I can move this around for you boys and girls right now on Twitch clips. If somebody else was able to grab it, we can see what the final was there. I have the last few. Nope, I was just a little ways out. But there might have been somebody that did grab a Twitch clip. In the future, if you are hanging out over at the Twitch channel, remember the clips button in the lower right-hand corner is one of the best things if you ever want to clip anything and get the last 30 seconds to minute and a half of the broadcast. You saw something really cool going on. You want a replay of it and you want to share that up. You click the little clips button in the lower right-hand corner of the video. It'll clip that up. You can edit the clip. You can share it up on Twitter. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So, another cool feature of the Twitch channel. So again, twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live, push notifications to your email as well as to your mobile device if you have the app on your mobile device. All right, let's go ahead and see what the results say over at ZwiftPower.com, as I believe they should be updated at this point. Yes, they definitely are. Luke did not have a heart rate monitor on, so he will not be able to take the W. I am seeing here maybe Troy Herfoss, followed by Aaron Dunn. Is that right? And then Brody Gooding. These are preliminary results. And according to ZwiftPower.com, I got Troy Herfoss, Aaron Dunn, and then Brody Gooding with that crazy last-second sprint. Ben Hill, followed by Ollie Simpson, Nadsy, then Jeffrey Creel. I am also seeing in there Damian Hassan, and Mick Polmier. Drew Jin as well in there with a solid effort, looks like with a -1 second. So the results are a little bit screwy. I am looking at the top 14, though, with Newell in there as well, and Riley Fleming. We're going to have to wait for KISS to sort these out, as I cannot give you an absolute, but I do know the top 5 are most likely Creel, Dunn, Herfoss, And then we are seeing Jin in there as well as Newell and Fleming. If we do get a screenshot from anybody, you could shoot it to us over at Z Community Live, and I would shoot it over through the Twitter as well. If we do have a screenshot of the results in Zwift, that would be helpful as well. Zwift is saying, let's see here, for YouTube, we do have a replay over there as well. If you would like, we can grab that for you as well. Brody finished third last week, Aaron Dunn is saying, but Zwift Power gave him the win. Interesting, Aaron Dunn. So we'll have to sort that all out. What a finish, Pete Donahue says. Awesome finish. Great job to everybody all around in the race today. For results, you will have to go on over to zwiftpower.com for the results today out on Zwift. It does look like the racers are getting their cool down in out there today. A few riders in the B category still making their way to the line. We do have, it looks like, K Udo chasing down G Moore as well on the final lap here for the B category here. I Hogan is in there as well. G Moore with a solid 26 miles in total, so trying to chase down a few riders up ahead of him. So looking through here for the comments. Any questions or comments to come in still, let me know. Looking through here, maybe somebody was able to grab something over at the Twitch channel for the clips. Doesn't look like, though, just yet. If you're looking for the replay, one of the best places that you can head on out is to the YouTube channel. We are going to try and get instant replay here for you guys and gals as best as we possibly can. But if you'd like to watch the replay will be available on the YouTube momentarily, but it will be available immediately also on the Twitch channel. If you head on over to twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live, there is a videos link above where you see the live broadcast. If you click that videos link, you can actually see the VOD actually available right now of the broadcast, of this broadcast actually, and as soon as I end this broadcast it will be available as well, and we will also upload highlights of this to our YouTube and to our Twitch. So as always, I want to say congratulations to all of the riders out there today. Looking through zwiftpower.com, we'll just double check again one more time to see how the results did pan out as they came across the line. They are not updated just yet. We'll probably have to give it, results will be provided within 24 hours of the race finish, it says. You can check preliminary positions using the live tab in the top right corner. So you'll have to wait, it looks like, up to 24 hours for the actual results, but the replay will give you an idea of where things finished up there. It was a solid effort by all the riders in that final sprint effort between all of them. That Larry Hot Dog says that sprint was full on. It definitely was full on for sure. Jeffrey Harvey, good to see you, says morning all. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm just going to read this out really quickly one more time about what is going on with the eCrit series, as it is definitely something new to the world of Zwift racing that everybody is wondering about how this works and everything. So real quick here, this is race number 6 that just finished here out on Zwift. And a lot of racers still making their way to the finish line here in the B, C, and D categories. But race number 6 in the eCrit series. The KISS Australia eCrit series takes place every Tuesday from April 28th to September 12th. Australian riders will score points in each race. On September 19th, the top riders, after the series has been completed, will be invited to a live e-racing final to be determined Australian location that will determine who will be crowned the 2017 Australian eCrit champion. More info coming soon. For the points are awarded from 1st to 20th place in reversed order from 20 points down to 1. So points will count towards KISS East Australian eCrit Series. And you can check out the league over at zwiftpower.com. Just go to the leagues tab at the top. If you scroll over that, there will come up KISS Australia East as well as West Series. For more race info, you can always see all of that over at the races on zwiftpower.com under race information. And the courses are the Volcano counterclockwise on Watopia, as well as Richmond Flat or the London Classic course. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Great job to all the racers out there today. Up next, we do have Ian Anderson on Zwift Community Live's Facebook as well as our Twitch feed. So if you would like to watch the Racer Focus for Ian Anderson in the KISS AM, you can head on over to all the Zwift Community live feeds on our Twitch, our YouTube, our Facebook, as well as our Beam channel, and you'll be able to watch those. Again, congratulations to all the riders. If you're looking for results, they'll be updated in the next 24 hours over on zwiftpower.com. And as always, everybody, ride on.
So what you dream of is what you're living. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you're living. Yeah. Here we go now, baby. You push the pedal, turn the crank, pound the pavement, run that race, set that goal, give it chase. Don't be afraid and join the ranks of the ones who say I'll see